There's a kind of noise the world doesn't talk about, the kind inside your own head. The deadlines, the doubts, the endless scroll of opinions makes you feel like you're never doing enough. And slowly, without realizing it, your mind stops being your own. It becomes a battlefield of fears, comparisons, and invisible pressure. But what if your thoughts weren't the enemy? What if you could train your mind to stay calm while the world spins? The Stoics believed exactly that. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus didn't run from the storm. They learned how to stand still within it. This video will walk you through 9 powerful Stoic principles that help you clear mental clutter, silence self-doubt, and build a mind that serves you rather than sabotages you. If you stay to the end, you won't just learn, you'll begin to rewire. Welcome to Stoic Philosophy Daily, where your story matters. Share your experience or your biggest struggle below. Every comment you leave is a gift. Here, your voice matters. We read with care, answer with heart, and treat your journey as part of our own. This is more than a channel, it's a circle of strength. Now, here's your first challenge. Comment, "I accept the challenge," if you're ready to stop letting negativity drive your day and start building the mental strength to take it back. 1. Control what belongs to you. Have you ever had one of those days where life feels like it's closing in on you, like everything is happening at once, and you're being dragged through it with no seatbelt? Someone throws a careless comment at you, your plans collapse, the weather turns against you, and suddenly your mind is on fire, not because life is unbearable, but because you're trying to control what was never yours to maintain in the first place. This is where Stoicism begins, not with quotes on a wall, but with a brutal and liberating truth. The only real power you have is over your mind and your actions. Everything else is external weather. It changes without asking you. Epictetus said it clearly. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. That isn't a motivational line. It is the foundation of peace, because the moment your emotions depend on external events, you become fragile. You become easily disturbed, like a small boat that panics whenever the water moves. Now, imagine this. You're at a cafe. A customer starts complaining loudly. The barista stays calm, but the energy shifts. You feel it. Right there, you have a choice. Mirror their frustration or guard your inner calm. Because the truth is, you can't control their tone, but you can control your response. This is the core of mental freedom. You stop wasting energy on what isn't yours. A rude driver, a missed deadline, a disapproving glance. Ask yourself, does reacting change anything? Or does it just chain you to noise? You can't control whether someone likes you, but you can control if you live by your values. You can't control the weather, but you can carry an umbrella. That's power. Quiet, steady, earned from within. So next time life provokes you, do this immediately. Pause, breathe once. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go on purpose. If the answer is yes, take wise action. That is lesson 1 in freeing your mind from negativity. At Stoic Daily, we believe peace begins the moment you stop fighting what you can't own. Comment below, I control my response. What is one thing you've been trying to control that is not yours to carry? 2. Accept reality, reclaim power. Sometimes we wish life came with fairness baked in. That effort always led to reward, that good people weren't betrayed, that our plans unfolded exactly as imagined. But life doesn't follow our script. It hands us difficulty, detours, and outcomes we never asked for. And when it does, our first reaction isn't always anger, it's confusion. Why is this happening? But here's what the Stoics knew. The problem isn't the event. The problem is the expectation that it should have been different. That inner resistance, that refusal to let reality be what it is what creates suffering. Marcus Aurelius ruled through plague, war, and betrayal. Yet he never cursed his fate. Instead, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Think of standing in a storm. You can scream at the wind, but it won't stop blowing. Or you can find shelter, adjust your path, and walk with it instead of against it. Acceptance doesn't mean weakness. It means you stop wasting energy resisting the rain and start using it. Resisting reality is like trying to swim upstream with weights tied to your chest. You tire yourself out and never move forward. But when you accept the current, you can learn to steer. You may not control the waves, but you can master the oar. That's what the Stoics trained for, not perfect conditions, but perfect adaptation. Look at those who thrive under pressure. It's not that they've avoided hardship, it's that they've stopped making war with it. They no longer ask life to be easier. They ask themselves to be wiser. Instead of "why me?" they ask "what now?" And that tiny shift opens the door to resilience. So next time life throws something unfair at you, a betrayal, a setback, a plan that crumbles, pause. Take a breath, then ask, am I resisting this or responding to it? One choice drains your power, the other restores it. At Stoic Daily, we believe acceptance isn't surrender. It's how warriors begin. Comment below. I choose to respond, not resist. What's one situation you can see differently today, not because it changed, but because you did? 3. Prepare for the storm before it hits. The Stoics didn't fear hardship, they rehearsed it. Long before life tested them, they had already trained their minds to face the worst-case scenarios, not out of pessimism, but out of wisdom. When you mentally prepare for difficulty, you don't become negative. You become unshakable. Marcus Aurelius didn't hope the day would go smoothly. He expected interruption, insult, delay. And because he expected it, he wasn't rattled by it. Imagine walking into a storm you already knew was coming. You don't curse the wind. You zip your jacket, lower your shoulders, and keep walking. That's what mental preparation does. It gives you composure before chaos arrives. Seneca said it best, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most people are blindsided by setbacks, not because life is cruel, but because they were never mentally ready, like stepping on stage without rehearsal. But when you visualize the failure, the rejection, the worst that could happen, you shrink its power. You walk in ready. Take the example of an Olympic athlete named Joe. He didn't just train for victory, he trained for injury, for disappointment, for every version of failure. So when a real setback struck, he didn't collapse, he adjusted. Because in his mind, he had already been there. The blow was familiar, not fatal. Here's what happens when you apply this. Anxiety drops because your brain stops treating uncertainty as a threat. You become less reactive, more prepared. You stop hoping life goes easy and start training to stay steady, even when it doesn't. Try this. Pick one area of your life where you're avoiding the "what if?" Instead of running from it, name the worst case. Feel it fully in your imagination. Then ask, if this happened, how would I respond with strength? Notice how the fear fades when a plan appears. At Stoic Daily, we believe calm isn't found in control. It's built in preparation. Comment below. I rehearse the storm, not the fear. What's one challenge you'll mentally train for this week? 4. Let silence do the heavy lifting. When you're insulted, judged, or provoked, the urge to react is instant. You feel the heat rise, the need to defend, to lash back, to prove something. But the Stoics understood that reactivity is weakness dressed as power. The moment someone can control your emotional response, they've already won. And you've handed them the remote to your peace. Instead, choose silence, not as avoidance, but as command. When Cato, the Stoic statesman, was mocked publicly, he didn't shout or retaliate. He stood in silence, not out of fear, but out of principle. And in doing so, he robbed his enemies of the very outcome they craved, control over his mind. Think of silence as a sword in its sheath, still sharp, unshaken. You don't need to unsheath it every time someone throws words like arrows. Most only hit back if you expose your anger. Epictetus said it simply, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When someone insults you, their words are not the harm, your reaction is. What they say can only hurt if you open the door and let it in. That doesn't mean silence equals weakness. It means you pause, observe your emotions like a surgeon, steady, precise, not rushed. Because when you speak from rage, you often regret it. But when you respond from reason, even your silence speaks volumes. We've all had that moment, the snide remark from a colleague, the betrayal from someone close, the public jab online. Your instinct says fire back. But next time, try this. Pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this reaction truly strong, or is it just noise? Sometimes the strongest move isn't a comeback. It's walking away without your spirit scratched. You don't have to play every game someone invites you to. Choose peace over performance. At Stoic Daily, we believe silence isn't retreat. It's restraint with purpose. Comment below. I choose calm over chaos. What's one situation where silence helped you stay in control? 5. Gratitude is mental power. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good habit. It's a daily discipline that shifts the way your mind sees the world. When negativity fills your thoughts, it's often not because life is terrible, but because your attention is trained to chase what's missing instead of seeing what's present. The mind easily spirals into comparison. It wants more, faster, better. But here's the trap. The more you crave, the poorer you feel. Seneca said it clearly. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Poverty isn't in what you lack. It's in what you constantly chase. Gratitude breaks that cycle. It grounds you in what already exists. Not the dream house, not the perfect life, but the warmth of morning light, the kindness of a stranger, a strong breath in your chest. These aren't small things. They're everything when you know how to see them. True wealth, the Stoics taught, isn't in possessions. It's in perception. A poor man who appreciates what he has is rich. A rich man who always wants more is poor. Gratitude trains your mind to choose the first path. Start tonight. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Keep it ordinary. A moment of laughter, a peaceful hour, the fact that you're still standing. At first, your brain may resist. It'll tell you none of it matters. That's not the truth. That's the echo of dissatisfaction. Don't argue, just write. Within days, you'll notice the shift. You become harder to irritate, less shaken by noise. Your nervous system recalibrates from threat to trust. Gratitude, repeated, rewires your emotional baseline. And remember, this isn't about pretending life is perfect. Stoicism never asked you to ignore pain. It asks you to face it with perspective. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship, it balances it. It reminds you that even inside the storm, there's still light. And if you've come this far, I'm grateful, because this isn't theory, it's transformation. And it doesn't stop here. Gratitude strengthens you, but in the next lesson, we'll go deeper. How to meet fear, not with escape, but with rational courage. At Stoic Daily, we believe gratitude is not a mood. It's a mindset that builds emotional strength. Comment below. I choose abundance over craving. What are 3 small things you're grateful for today, even in imperfection? 6. Face your fear before it owns you. Fear isn't the enemy, it's a signal. Sometimes it protects you from real danger, a speeding car, a predator's stare, a risky decision that demands caution. But more often, fear doesn't protect you. It imprisons you. It shows up as sweaty palms before public speaking. There is hesitation to try something new, as well as silence when your voice is needed. And every time you run, the fear grows stronger, not because it's real, but because you fed it with avoidance. Epictetus wrote, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." In other words, it's not the stage or the silence or the job interview that terrifies you. It's the story your mind tells you about what might happen. Think about it. You're not really afraid of speaking. You fear judgment, you fear failure, you fear losing the image of control. But Stoicism doesn't tell you to eliminate fear. It teaches you to step toward it. Because when you do, the illusion starts to dissolve. Seneca understood this. He advised the wealthy to live like the poor, sleep on the ground, wear humble clothes, and eat sparsely. Not to punish themselves, but to confront their deepest fear, losing comfort. And what they discovered was liberating. That fear of loss. Mostly fiction. Once experienced, it lost its power. You can apply the same principle. If you fear public speaking, start with one sentence in a small room. If you fear rejection, send that message. If you fear loneliness, sit quietly with yourself for 10 minutes a day. Because when you enter the space you fear, you shrink its size. You reclaim your freedom. Try this. Think of one fear you've been avoiding. Write it down. Then write the worst-case scenario. Then ask yourself, if this actually happened, could I survive it? Could I adapt? You'll likely discover that the fear itself is louder than the event it imagines. At Stoic Daily, we believe fear loses power when you stop running and start observing. Comment below. I face the fear, not the fiction. What's one fear you're ready to shrink by stepping toward it today? 7. Free yourself from the hunger for approval. It starts innocently. You say something just to please. You smile to avoid tension. You overextend yourself so no one else will feel disappointed. It feels harmless, even smart. But one day you wake up and realize you've built your identity out of other people's opinions. And it's exhausting. At first, validation feels like nourishment. A compliment, a like, a nod in a meeting. But the more you feed on it, the hungrier you become. And suddenly, you're not acting from truth anymore. You're performing for applause. As Seneca might put it, you've traded freedom for approval, and the price is your peace. That's when life turns into a stage. You're no longer living, you're reacting and waiting for smiles to feel worthy, crumbling at criticism and drowning in silence. Your self-worth, once your own, is now held hostage by whoever notices or doesn't. But Stoicism offers a different path. It tells you your worth isn't up for a vote. It's defined by how closely you live to your principles, not by how often others agree with you. True freedom begins the moment you stop needing confirmation to be yourself. Picture this. You're in a meeting. You offer an idea. A colleague ignores you, throws a dismissive glance. The insecure version of you spirals. Was I wrong? Do I matter? But the trained Stoic pauses, observes, breathes. You don't need their nod to validate your voice. You know your value, so you don't give it away. Breaking free from approval seeking doesn't mean becoming cold. It means becoming grounded. It means you can still hear others, but their noise no longer sways your compass. Try this. Think of one situation where you often seek validation. Next time it happens, pause. Before reacting, ask, would I still choose this if no one praised me for it? Let that answer guide you. Each time you do, you reclaim a piece of yourself. At Stoic Daily, we believe self-worth isn't required. It's remembered. Comment below. I live by principle, not praise. What's one way You're choosing internal strength over external approval this week. 8. Own less, live more. People often say something matters, then live like it doesn't. They claim peace is priceless, but trade it daily for noise, status, and more stuff. That contradiction planted a seed in me. Determine what truly matters and live like you mean it. The world won't help you with that. It will flood you with noise, new desires, more upgrades, and endless comparisons. But ask yourself this: when were you truly at peace? Was it when you bought something new, or when you were laughing, connecting, or simply still? Stoicism has long warned us: desire never ends. You chase the car, then fear losing it. You earn more, then you need more. Desire doesn't free you, it builds the cage. Epictetus, once enslaved, understood freedom better than most emperors. He said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." That's not just poetic, it's a prescription. Minimalism, through the Stoic lens, isn't about having nothing. It's about being owned by nothing. It means asking, do I need this, or am I trying to fill something inside me? This applies to clothes, ambitions, and even social connections built to prove worth. The truth is, you are already complete. But when you clutter your life chasing what doesn't matter, you drown out what does. Strip that noise away, and you'll uncover something rare: clarity, space to think, time to grow, emotional energy for what actually builds you, your mind, your character, your inner peace. Try this. For 7 days, remove one unnecessary thing each day. It could be a physical item, a digital distraction, or a habit driven by insecurity. Then ask, if I didn't have this, would I still be me? The discomfort you feel isn't loss, it's detox. And behind it is freedom. Because in the end, it's not about what you own. It's about what no longer owns you. At Stoic Daily, we believe simplicity isn't a sacrifice, it's a strategy. Comment below. I choose meaning over more. What's one desire you're ready to release this week to reclaim your peace? 9. Turn adversity into your training ground. Here's a truth most people resist. Life will hurt you, not once, not twice, but repeatedly. It will break your expectations, steal what you thought was certain, and test you in ways you never prepared for. But Stoicism doesn't tell you to avoid the storm. It teaches you how to walk through it with your eyes open. The Stoics knew this. Adversity isn't the detour, it is the path. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Just like muscles are built by resistance, your character is forged through hardship. Pain is not a punishment. It's the weight you train with. You can run from it, or you can pick it up and grow stronger with every rep. Think of Viktor Frankl, the Austrian psychologist who survived Nazi concentration camps. Surrounded by death, starvation, and despair, he didn't surrender to hopelessness. He observed, reflected, and searched for meaning. From one of the darkest places in human history, he brought the world light. Man's search for meaning, his lesson. Even when everything is taken from you, your perspective remains yours to command. So when life hits you, betrayal, failure, loss, you have a decision: collapse or adapt, drown in bitterness or rise in understanding. You cannot control the storm, but you can become the kind of person who uses the wind to root deeper, like the tree that bends but doesn't break. Ask yourself this: what if this pain is not here to punish me, but to train me? Every hardship carries a lesson: patience, clarity, humility, resilience. The choice isn't whether life will challenge you, it's whether you'll let it change you for the better. Try this. The next time you face adversity, whether it's a rejection, a loss, or a mistake, write down this question: what is this here to teach me? Don't look for blame, look for the lesson. because that's where your power lives. At Stoic Daily, we believe storms don't break you when you train in the rain. Comment below. I grow through what I go through. What's one challenge you've faced that shaped your strength, not your scars? The real freedom is inner mastery. Freedom doesn't begin when negativity disappears. It starts the moment you stop running from it. You face it, study it, rise above it, not by force, but by wisdom. That's what Stoicism gives you. Not a perfect life, but a powerful mind. One that responds with clarity instead of chaos. If this message gave you a new perspective, drop it in the comments. I free my mind from negativity. Let those words be your anchor the next time your peace is tested. Repeat it, own it, live it. And if this video helped, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who's struggling, someone who needs this quiet strength. And subscribe if you're ready to build a mind that doesn't break at every storm. At Stoic Philosophy Daily, we believe clarity is earned through the practice of presence, peace, and personal truth. This isn't the end of the journey. It's the start of your real work. Watch the next video on screen and keep walking the Stoic path. We'll be right here with you,
If you're seeking more, discover the full path on my channel, Stoic Philosophy Daily.